Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great week. I was asked a couple weeks ago, probably about a month ago, to do a video on time management in occupational therapy, and I thought I'd give it a whirl today. So here we go. First off, let me say that I am definitely not an expert in time management. I do my best, and I think I do a decent job of staying on top of everything in occupational therapy school. But there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of different ways you can manage your time. So feel free to have a completely different idea of how you should manage your time than I'm about to say. So there's a couple of things I think are important when thinking about occupational therapy and really staying on top of the schoolwork and staying on top of your workload. So the first one is just to stay organized. I think that there are so many different classes, and what I've found that was different, at least from my undergrad, is that not only do you have your courses and you have your syllabus, but a lot of communication happens via email. And so sometimes we're given or we're told that assignments have been posted, or we get clarifications about assignments through email a lot more than I did in my undergrad. And so you're getting communication about different things in your classes. At least at my school, you get them from email, you get it from the syllabus, you get it from in class, and it can be just so many different sources and different locations that you're getting information that it's very easy to kind of drop the ball and not realize that something had been told to you or forget something. So I think first off, the first thing I would say as far as time management is just to have some sort of organization system and make sure you know what assignments you need to do and when they're due. It sounds simple, but at least at my school, because of all the different communication forms of communication, it can be really difficult. So there are different ways people in my class do this. Some people have planners, which are definitely helpful, and I think they really like them. Other people, they'll make sort of like a list in the beginning of the semester based off the syllabus that says what assignments, and they'll kind of color code it and everything that says for each class what assignments there are and when they're due, and then they might go in and edit that throughout the semester if we get anything new. Other people maybe use, like I kind of use the calendar in my phone a little bit for things that are really important, just because it's on me all the time. And so if something changes, I can easily change the dates. And then it's always okay to just ask your classmates, like, is there anything I'm missing this week? Because it's so easy to miss an assignment. Or I don't want to say so easy, maybe that's an exaggeration. But it's definitely possible to forget about an assignment or something like that. So I think it's okay to always just ask, like, we only have this and that today, or we do have class at this time, right? It was changed. Things like that. People do it all the time. Totally not a big deal. But yeah, I think that's the first thing, is just to have some sort of organization that works for you, whatever that is. The next thing I would say, and this is really probably what I utilize the most, is just to make sure that you're using your time wisely. So at least at my school, because we do have a really large class, we'll have breaks sometimes that are an hour or 2 hours, or even just over your lunch break, or class might be delayed an hour, and so you have these little chunks of time every once in a while, like sprinkled throughout your schedule. I really just try and capitalize on those little bits of time. So if I know that I have an hour, I might spend it looking over an assignment, or coordinating with group members, or replying to emails, or at least trying to get something kind of knocked off my to-do list, whether it be for my assistantship, for classes, for life, because it's really easy for life stuff to fall through the cracks. I just really try and spend some of those little moments of time, at least maybe 15 minutes here or there, instead of just sitting around hanging out. I try and kind of utilize that time to my advantage. Now, sometimes you need a break, and it's okay to say, you know what, it's lunch, and I've been in class all morning, and I need to kind of just have a pause, take a break, hang out, so I can recharge my batteries. That's totally fine as well. For me, though, I don't feel like I have to do that every day. I feel like there are days that I feel bogged down, and so I let myself have those days and have those lunches and just relax and kind of recharge my batteries. But maybe that's 1 or 2 times a week max, if even. And then the other lunches, I try and be productive or do something at least part of the time, maybe not the whole time, but at least part of the time. Another thing I think is really important is good communication with your group mates or your classmates. At least at my school, we definitely have a lot of group projects, and you need to start communication on those projects early, I think, because with having so many people in a group, it's difficult to coordinate schedules, and you might say, hey, we need to start looking at this, but people might not respond for a day or two, and so I think starting any kind of group communications, if you're in any sort of group, earlier rather than later is always great. That's just a really small tip. And then the last thing I think is really important, and at least I think is really important, is just to make sure that you have something in your life aside from school that you enjoy doing. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. It could be taking 20 minutes to read, or taking a walk, or making sure you're working out, or playing rugby. I don't know, whatever. People do all sorts of things in my class. There's people who go on runs every day. There's people who volunteer. There's people that go volunteer at camps, all sorts of things. And so I think it's so important to have something in your life that you're doing that really re-energizes you and kind of lets you take a break from school. Otherwise, I feel like, at least in my experience, you're just going, and you can kind of burn out. And so having something that you really enjoy and that you find is valuable and that you really like to do, I think is a great way to sort of recharge your batteries and help you refocus so that you can be more efficient with your time. So those are kind of my general tips, I guess. I would say that for my personal experience, I probably have somewhere between, I want to say, like 2 to 4 hours a night of free time that I, like, when I've already finished the projects that I have to do within the next amount of time. And so some days I use that and I just relax. Some days I use that to try and get ahead. Some days I use that to just keep, like, stay on top of my life and pay bills and that sort of thing. But if that gives you any idea on kind of what my life looks like, I would say, yeah, I have about 2 to 4 hours. I do have an assistantship, though, and I'm in a really hard lab, so I feel like the amount of time that I have compared to the amount of time that other people in my class have is not really the best representation, but just throwing that out there for kind of what my experience is like. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.